Okay, good morning, ladies and germs. Boy, did we have a week this week. Oh boy. Where do I start? Okay, we'll start with, well, the most obvious. Um, let's see. Killing kids or pedophiles or KGB running into your houses. We've had a full week. Yeah. So all this time, all these months, we're finally getting it out in the media what's going on at the border. That yes, we are keeping children in concentration camps, and no, we're not attending to their needs, and nobody's doing nothing about it. Yeah. So the GOP, the Republican Party, has aligned themselves with children in concentration camps. Because I think this is what we fought against, kinda, in World War II. But I could be wrong. I wasn't around back then. Who knows? But I do know this. They are signing the checks. They are co-signing the loans. They are accepting this. Watch. Be very aware. And see who's reacting. Up to now, we've had one person leave the GOP. It's changed to independent because he can't deal with the stuff Trump is getting away with. Uh, Another Republican who has a backbone is running against him. Well, WLD, look him up. I don't agree with everything he says, but anything better than the orange pumpkin head we got in the White House now. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, he he lost another cabinet member. He's lost so many cabinet members. You see, what people don't understand about Trump, and until you do, you're not going to understand the way he thinks. He is a businessman. He sits around in his big cushy office on his big cushy chair. He says, make it happen. And then his little minions scurry around making things happen. Here, boss, do you like this? Here, boss, does this please you? But he's not a leader. And nobody understands that. He cannot negotiate. He does not know how to work with people. All he knows how to do is bark orders, put the fear of God in people that desperately need a job, and force them to do things they normally would not do to make it happen. I know. I used to be in the business world. They don't want excuses, they want results. So, that's why he keeps having all these problems of keeping people, because this high turnover rate, that's normal in the business world. I mean, he's had what, 5 people in 2 years? Yeah, yeah, right on schedule. Because you put so much demand on your employees that they don't want to stay around. I'm sure Acosta on one hand was, I'm glad to be out of this rat race. But then again, he did hide a pedophile. But why did he hide that pedophile? Who did it benefit? It obviously killed Acosta's career, unless it was to protect Trump. Again, it comes down to, the head of the CEO of a company barks orders and everyone else scurries to make it happen. He wanted the Epstein story gone. And that's what they did to make it gone. The problem with that is Epstein broke the law. Because before you have an agreement with the defendant, the plaintiff got to sign off on it. The plaintiff got to okay it. Now, the excuses were the girls wouldn't talk or they were too traumatized to talk. There were 30 of them. There were 30 children interviewed. And all of them said that they did this, that the Epstein did this to them. All right, well, let's go with Acosta. Let's say half of them didn't want to say it, didn't want to testify. Okay. They said they report to the cops and they're done with it. Whether the judicial system happens to grind out, that's what's gonna grind out to. So let's say only 15 wanted to talk about it. And let's say some of them were like, I don't want to go to the, court. I don't want to face them. I don't want to go through the hearing. Okay, let's give it a high amount. Of the 15 that is willing to talk about it, let's say 10, let's say 2/3 of them don't want to go to court about it. You still have at least 5. So 1/6%, 1/6 of the people, not percent, 1/6 of the people of the 30 is willing to go and say something. Even if the jury only believed 2 or 3 of them, it would have been a conviction. So, what else does this person know that's keeping everyone else protecting him? Because if you know how a person's money works, you have power over it. I think he knows how Trump's money works. Because he's not letting anyone in on how he gets his money. How is he affording to send $3.5 million to potential witnesses, pay them to shut up? Where's he getting that money from? I think this is just the top of the iceberg. The horrendous details we've gotten about these young children being sexually assaulted. It's just a start. I think it's going to get heinous. I mean, it's not that's not horrible now. But why are people willing to protect this man unless they had something to do with it? So we're going to wait and see how that story evolves. And now what we have what, 5-6 cities today that's going on that are experiencing ice raids. First off, let me tell you why ice was invented. Ice was put together to work with not the drug smugglers, but to pop the drug smugglers. You gather information. You see who's going to be what, where. They go a little bit deeper than the tobacco firearms group or the undercover group. I mean, they go into some really dangerous areas. And the whole point is detect drug smugglers, their movements, and to arrest them. What Trump has done was weaponize that skill because he hates brown people or anyone who's not white. I should say anyone that's not the right kind of white. So, and he's going to terrorize them. It's like the census question. He knew that census question was never going to be on the questionnaire. They started printing them like 2 weeks ago on the 1st of, no, was it the 1st? July. The 1st of July was a Monday, wasn't it? Yeah. It's either the 1st or the 8th that started being printed. But the point is they already printed. And they didn't have the question on it. And they're like, well, we're going to try and find a way to put the question on there. Well, that means that all the questions are already on the ballots, or the census questions that was printed now will all have to be destroyed. And new ones will have to be printed, which would be a waste of money. Speaking of wasting money, but yeah, I just had a thought of his parade going through my head. Oh my God, that was waste. But anyway, it was just to scare people not to take the census ballot. And people are like, well, why should government money go for illegal immigrants? So, why should we pay for them? Well, it's not just that. The part that I'm focusing on is the children. And let me tell you why. Because in public schooling gets so much money allotted to them through the federal government per child. If they do not have an accurate count of how many children are in a particular area, then the money going to that public school will be cut. That means if they're getting $25 a pupil, and this number I made up, grab it out of the middle of the air, we'll now have, instead of each pupil getting that set amount, the pupil that answered the question will have to share their amount of money with the pupil that chose not to answer the question. So basically cutting public schooling money in half. You can see how this can get sticky in some areas more than others, which kind of has me wondering, is like, do people realize, and I mean the average person, that all this fighting in between the middle class and poor is just so rich could run away to the bank with all the money? Are you seeing this? Because it's not the rich that uses the public schools. It's the middle class and poor. So, why, can anyone else see this? Like George Carlin. If you're old enough to hear him, or if you don't even know who I'm talking about, look up George Carlin. And he already talked about this like 30 years before it's happening. He talked about the government going after your welfare, the Social Security checks, because they never expected you to live that long. By veer off course. If you do not have an accurate count of a neighborhood, then instead of 50 children getting X amount of money per, and half the children, the family chooses not to fill out that census question, well, now you're only looking at getting funding for half the kids, and those kids have to share it with the kids that chose not to answer the questions. And we can already see that the system is stressed out, because what I understand, the teachers aren't getting paid well either. I know the teachers don't get paid well, because when I was looking for a job, it was like, okay, you could either go into teaching, which I was in college anyways. So this was my career thing, I could either go for teaching, and then I was like, well, I need something, a part-time job to work me through college. I had a long college career, like I say. I wanted to be in teaching, but when I got my part-time job, I noticed that a person that stocks the shelf in the middle of the night was making just as much, if not more, than a teacher, and they didn't have to deal with making, what they call that? When you teach the kids, when you have a schedule what to teach the kids and when to teach them, and a test, and oh, what they call that book? Not a date book, but it's like you gotta teach this subject this week to that week, test on this day, you know. Oh, jeez. I'll think about it later. If not, tell me what it is. That's gonna bother me, but a teaching manual. Yes, that's it. I don't have to set up a teaching manual. I won't have to worry about attendance. I don't have to worry about people back talking me. I would just have to show up in around closing time, stock the shelves, clean the store, and I'd make just as much as a teacher would have, which was very discouraging. Of course, later I got fascinated with the law system. But I found out that every law that was out there was a counter law. It drove me crazy. So I decided to go something simpler, medicine, and that was quite interesting. I was good at it. But then I got sick, and yeah. But anyway, but back to what I was saying. The school's being underfunded. It's already underfunded. Teachers don't get paid. There's not enough supplies. And when a night stalker in the store can make more money than the teachers, there should be a clue. Um, so yeah. And now they got this. Today is when they start sending ice. Yeah, I already said this. Ice door to door. Just like the KGB did in Germany 100 years ago, looking for Jewish people. Only Trump hates brown people, so we're looking for brown people. Unfortunately, there was enough time to educate everyone to say, you don't have to open the door. Now, if they have a warrant, you have to open the door. Um, no resistance. You don't have to say nothing. Just sit there. Yeah. And if they do ask you a question, it's like, I want a lawyer. It's the only words that come out of your mouth. I want a lawyer. Which is kind of, this is just another tactic to scare brown people from, immigrants, I should say, from filling out the census. Which really confuses me because the people that overstayed their visitor visa most of all are Canadians. And nobody says a word about that. I mean, I don't care. I mean, it really don't matter to me. But if you're really picky of who overstays in this country that don't belong here, Canadians are notorious for overstating their visas. But we don't look at them as foreigners, I think. Because they look like us. It's like, you're not a foreigner, you're our freaking neighbor. Get back upstairs. Anyway, and this is going to be a really short video. I don't know why. Things are happening quickly. And the dog just found a plastic bottle. Yay. I found a few of these. Yeah. I got 2 of these. We're going to go ahead and open them up. I have no idea how these things are going to work or how they open. So we're going to find this out together. But you know what? If anything, the next president, because we've got to get Pumpkinhead out. We've got to. We're killing kids. I mean, come on. You cannot condone killing children. I mean, you might hate brown people, but you're gonna kill kids over this? Come on. But the next president, whoever he or she is, has, ooh, is this gonna pop? Oh, I don't know what this is. I'm gonna hold this. Oh dear God, there's teeth in it. Ah! You see that? Oh. I don't know how that was supposed to open, but there are teeth in it. What the hell is that? I don't know what this is. That's his feet. I have no idea. It looks like it's gears that it should open and close. Oh dear God. Okay, you push his tongue in. Okay, I see. Okay. That little tongue thing. See that? You push the tongue in. Yeah. Oh my God, he looks like he can eat an apple through a picket fence. Look how. Ugh. Alright, so I'm going to put you down there. We're going to see. Well. Okay. Okay. So there's a slide right in there. See that? That's like a little file area right there and there. And you put your, like a little file cabinet, like, no, I didn't get it in there. Yeah, I'm trying to do this backwards. Oh, okay, see, now you got it right. Now, all right. So you take it out of the little file cabinet. Okay, right there it says it. Oh my God. So that's how you take them out. Oh, jeez. Okay, so we got the alien. Way far. So we got the alien as the way far away group. Ooh. I don't think I like any of these. They're creepy. Okay, and here's his little stand with little, well, I don't know what's in this. Oh, good, it's got a little part where you tear it. And he's got a little ray gun. And I don't know how this is supposed to work. But that's a little stand. And there's a little tongue sticking out. Okay, well, we're going to put you over here. Oh, boy. I'm sorry, I'm just like really looking at these and I'm like, okay. The kids are not all right. They're not. But then again, look at the adults and look what we're doing to the kids. So, yeah, you're right on time, children. Don't worry about it. Okay, so now we know how these are going to open up. They're not going to pop out. They're not going to spring everywhere. You're not going to get confetti everywhere. Yeah, that was fun, that one. I'm still picking up confetti. Uh, if you open you remember a few weeks ago we opened up um, those little girls and they kept popping out of their little toy things? Yeah. So, at least these are not, okay. Okay, so they don't pop out at all. You just lift open, and you can see the little papers over here. So we're going to push that in. Oh, and it's an elephant. There you go. That is the weirdest looking elephant. This looked like something we drew. Oh my god. What was it? I don't know what that is. I don't know. I thought I did. I don't. Alright. Let's see what the accessory is. He's got an accessory. Alrighty. Sorry guys. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. It's a pin. Okay. I think it's an elephant. I don't know. Let me take a look at our paper and see what it may be. I'm sorry, I'm not. Okay. Ponds and plains. Okay. Leave that one there. And yes, it does look like it's a circus elephant. Okay. Okay, let me see if I got this right. You put it in there. Alright. Okay. Okay, I hope the kids love these. Okay. And there's a reason why you stop playing with toys after a certain time. They don't make sense anymore. But if that's what the children are playing with, we need to get them outside more. You know we do. Oh dear. Okay, so let me go ahead, put these back together. But yeah, just want to show you those and what we found, and that was interesting. So what things been going on in your lives? It's been, other than watching the fireworks happen on TV, what I think is going on is that people are starting to see what Trump really is. and they're not buying the sitcom anymore. Because you see, with every good sitcom, there comes a final season. And we're talking 3 years of constant noise, constant rhetoric, constant hair on fire, and all these situations. I think people are really getting tired of it. They're getting tired of all the noise. And we're becoming more, how should I say, humiliated as a nation because of everything that we do. I mean, I know there are farmers that are getting government subsidies because the tariffs are hitting them to such a point they can't make a living anymore. And this is after Trump was like, oh, we're going to get the farmers back making money again. They were making money before you added in the tariffs. And they gave, I remember the Trump administration gave Carrier a couple of $1 million to stay. And you see, that's why Pence didn't give his governorship job up until he had to. Because while he was still governor, he ran back to Illinois. He said, your money now. He ran back to Illinois, got the few $1 million from his little budget and gave it to the carrier company to stay. Well, they did stay to the letter of the contract, and then as soon as the contract was, they fulfilled their part of the contract, they moved to Mexico anyway. And there was no backlash on them. They just upped and went. And then I think, in a couple of months, around Christmas, there's going to be another plant getting ready to close around Christmas. Are you serious? Anyway, what we need is a candidate that's going to restore the law and order, and it's going to get everything whipped back into shape. Up to now, I've only heard one candidate say that, and that's Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth has said that she's going to give executive orders that anyone that committed crimes against immigrants will be brought to justice. Because we're supposed to be a country of law and order. We're supposed to be a country that the Constitution, let's backtrack a minute. The Constitution is basically a permission slip. It's a permission slip of what the government is allowed to do. And right now, the Republican Party is allowing Trump to do whatever he wants to do without any checks or balances. We're going to need someone to go ahead and get that back and, get that integrity back. And Warren up to now is the only one that pledged to do that, to get our dignity back. You want to be the country of law and order, that means you have to obey your own laws, not just when it's convenient for you. There was one other point I wanted to make before I leave. Oh geez, and I know it's going to be really important when I turn this camera off and I'm getting ready to upload it. Ooh, that was itchy right there. Don't notice the eye is going to be itchy till you touch it, right? Well, quit touching your eye. But, yeah. Let me see. Election, Trump. Oh, yes. Now, one point I wanted to make, and be very careful of this, but if you're on social media, or if you're making any kind of comments, and someone gets on your feed and makes a really off the wall comment, especially with the Trump, that in favor of Trump, the trolls are out. They're out in full force. We're nowhere near a caucus. We're nowhere near a full campaign. They're already out. They're already attacking. The way you could tell if it's a troll is that you click on their name. Immediately, before you answer them one word, you click on their name. If their account has maybe a few people, no pictures, no profile, no profile picture, no entry, even on a YouTube account, if you don't put no profile picture, it still shows the videos that you've been watching. On Twitter, even if you make no postings of your own, or you have no tweets of your own, it still shows the tweets that you like and the tweets that you retweeted. My Twitter is mainly retweeting. I very seldom tweet anything unless they feel it's relevant. The same thing with the Twitter account. There'll be no profile picture, no profile anything. It'll just be a name, a generic picture, or of outline of a person, and no entry of any kind. They just seem to be going into Twitter's other people's feed and commenting. That's how you could tell it's a troll or someone who's trying to do something ominous. The Republican Party at this point is willing to keep power no matter who it hurts or what happens. The Republican Party just wants to be in power. Now, this is just me speaking. This is the end of the video anyway. So if you stood this long, this is just me speaking. You know when a bully comes up to you or if someone comes up to you in the schoolyard and said, I'll give you control over this many kids if you do this for me. And you thinking, I have, if you're a schoolyard bully, you're like, hey, I got even more kids now I can control. You're controlling, that bully's controlling those kids for a bigger bully. The Republican Party wants to keep hold of the power so bad that I'm assuming that they are willing to play this very dangerous game with an outside entity. And you're going to lose. Which is really scary that you are willing to put that much at risk just to maintain control of the Senate, of the White House. And the GOP's not in control of the White House. Heck, they're not in control of anything anymore. And they can't see it. The GOP is in control of the House. The GOP has controlled the White House in name only. Then control the Senate in name only. Which brings me to another point with the Senate. Mitch McConnell's not letting anything pass. If you wonder why all these budgets are not going through, all these laws, it is his fault. Everything from the firefighters getting their relief funds, to shoring up that anyone that tries to interfere with the 2020 elections will be punished. He's stopping that bill too. Um, I think he's been in office too long. That's why I'm really happy that little pilot, that fighter pilot that jumped in. Ooh, she's gonna give him a run. And you could tell that nobody likes Mitch anyway. She what? How many millions of dollars she raised in 24 hours? And that's how they judge you. That's how they judge you how well you're gonna do, how well you do in your first 24 hours of campaigning. And she raised a lot. I'm not even in Kentucky and I want to donate to her. But anyway, that's everything I want to talk about. Wasted another 40 minutes. Sorry about that. I just wanted to take my time and talk to everybody. Instead of going to therapy, I save my $75 and we all meet here. Anyway, so as usual, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. That way we all end up somewhere in the middle. See you next week. Bye.